introduce yourself.
My good name is Becky. You can call me Chorare. I will be the co-host for this ceremony.
To this lovely event, we appreciate you taking your time from your busy schedule to grace this occasion for this town hall meeting for the next president of the Law Society of Kenya, Peter Manonge Wanyama. Stand up and greet an advocate you have not seen in a long time.
Have you friend that you have made today? If you share an area of interest, you can exchange numbers. Strategically, a strong band, that is the thing. To listen to our presidential candidate for the Lsk, Mr. PMO. Nice. Now, silence in the room. Let's start. Vin, who have you said hi to that you have never said hi to before? Alright, here we get another person, someone who looks a bit quiet. Okay, you tell me. A new person that you have met and probably their area of interest.
It's a William.
Area of interest? Alright, the good lady met Peter Wanyama. Let us see. Who have you met today? Good. A new person that you have never talked to before that you have actually talked to right now. She has forgotten. And is a discussion with PMO, but over and above that, we are supposed to network and make friends in this profession.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Interaction with one another. I know we don't meet as often due to the virtual practice that we have. So, I'd like to take this opportunity to allow you to take your seats. Thank you for being so obedient.
We do have empty seats on the front. We are kindly asking the guys who are seated in the back to kindly come to the front so that when others come, they will get those seats. Kindly, tafadhali.
Yes, there's plenty of seats.
Sitting beyond that pillar, please come to the front.
There's an opportunity right here at the front, next to Mr. President.
Mr. Ascon is sitting on an entire table alone. Kindly come and join him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite the man of the hour, the emperor, the conqueror, the lion, the champion, Mr. President, Pimo, to come forward and to officially welcome us.
Meanwhile, I'm asking for silence. The guys who have bookmarks, I can see you from where I'm sitting. Kindly sit down. Thank you very much.
So once again, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you. I would like, it's important for the President to officially welcome you to this occasion. So Kiongozi, there's still a lot of room on this side, on the right. There's a lot of space here, ladies and gentlemen, on my right. There's a lot of space here up front.
Okari, kindly bring your friends in. There's a lot of space at the front. Please make your way here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space. We have a very big hall, and you're encouraged to come forward. There's a lot of space on my right. There's a lot of space on my left, up front. You're encouraged to come forward so that we may have a round table kind of event. For those who are coming in, welcome. Asanteni sana for gracing our event. Karibuni sana. I know advocates are very busy people, but it's an honor to have each and every one of you honor this event. Today being the 3rd of February 2026, it stands just 2 weeks from the Lsk elections on February 19th. And it's good to have you here. Karibuni sana. There's a lot of space here up front. I still see people standing. There's space here. There's a lot of space. You can join us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you. Karibuni sana. Today is just 2 weeks to the elections that will determine the leadership of the LSK between 2026 and 2028. The Law Society is a body for you and me, and we need a strong leader who will push us forward to a transformative bar that opens up spaces for each and every one of you and that caters to your needs as an advocate. And the man who I know can lead us forward to matters that are of importance is none other than PMO. And I take this occasion to introduce the man himself. I take this opportunity to invite Mr. President to come and speak to us. Thank you.
Aspirants in the room, kindly sit down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, colleagues. Or is it good afternoon? Yeah? Good evening, eh? Thank you. I think we may all be seated. And myself, I'll make an introduction. My name is Peter Manyonge Wanyama. There's another name there which I rarely use, but it's actually my name. And allow me to thank you very much for coming. It is actually a town hall. And the way we have restructured this town hall is that I will be answering your questions, the ones which make me uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones which can challenge our minds. And remember, it is the simple questions that usually matter. So we want to make it as lively as possible. I'll be making my presentation by answering your questions. Isn't that not a good idea?
Yes.
Thank you. So we will start with the first question. And this one, the person who will ask the first question, I will talk to you behind the tents in a strategic way. You know what that means? Yeah. Thank you. And I propose that the person who asks the first question be a female. So who will volunteer? Sure. So I will take all the questions, then we will. I'll respond to them as time goes on. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Susan Sambaki. So I've been actively campaigning for you, and something that people have kept on asking is how safe the young bar is. There are allegations that you said something about the young bar expecting to be successful without working hard. So how do, please address that question. Yeah.
Thank you. We can take the next question. I can see a hand on my right. I think we can take a round of 10 questions, right?
Good evening, colleagues. My questions, our incoming president, there are two. The first one is in regards to pupillage stipend.
Maybe what you can do, you can say your name. And then,
Yes, my name is Absalam Bore. Absalam Bore. I'm a public prosecutor at the ODPP. We have appeared in many cases with my senior on the defense team. So my question, one is in regards to pupillage, a pupil stipend. You see, like in medical field, people are being given, doctors are being given a good amount of money when they are in attachment. When it comes to pupillage, people are being paid to the discretion of the pupil master. So once you assume your office at LSK, what legislative policies will you put in place to cater for that? My second question is, this one it looks a bit, but you know we are here as your supporters, and the name Peter Wanyama rings bell in any organization when it comes to constitutional petition. And once you assume your office as Lsk President, that office is quasi-political, and the government fears your name. So how will you balance between the needs for Lsk when you put the government in checks, and also to fight for the members? Thank you.
Another question.
Great. Good evening. My name is Purity Karemi. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a journalist. We are approaching a very critical time of election, and you are very ready to be president of Lsk. How are you going to handle the issue of police, maybe election? After elections, there are so many issues which comes, and you are the eye of the people who can fight and stand for the people. How are you going to handle this issue, this critical moment? Thank you.
Electioneering period is coming, concerns are being raised. Backbenchers. Anyone? I think you can start with that first round, please.
I needed more questions. Please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Anita Jabichi Rito, and I am a young bar. I was admitted in 2022. And my question for you is regards to unshackling us from the old ghost rooms in terms of digitization. For me, I practice as a virtual advocate, and I just want to know, what are your plans to unshackle us from the old? Thank you.
Okay.
Kiongozi, mine is Richard Ondimo. 2 years is such a short time. What do you
Part of your strategic position is to create mentorship for the young bar, for pro bono opportunities with courts and the judiciary, but the procedure is not really clear. So I'd like to know your position on the same. Thank you.
Any other person?
Good evening, colleagues. Yeah, so to my question is with regard to your opponents. There is a senior council Charles Kashama, there is a Maura Kabata. They both claim that they have a track record that they would like to, to continue working on. But in your case, there are allegations that you do not have a track record and so on. So my question is very simple. What would be your response with regard to the same? Thank you so much.
So maybe you can take the last question.
Final round.
Am I
for
loud enough
this
on
round.
the internet? Okay.
Anyone?
The last question, let it come from here. Was you a question, but don't want. I can see you want to ask.
There's a person here. There's someone here.
But we'll first come to the last question.
Well, Mr. President, what strategies or what plans do you have to ensure that young advocates at least get equal opportunities as they are seniors? We are having young advocates struggle with addiction. Most of them do not talk about it, but we have young advocates who are spending time in town drinking when it's work time. And we also have other advocates wallowing in gambling addiction simply because of lack of opportunities. So what is it that probably you do different than your predecessors?
Maybe the last question. The last question, I had trusted my colleague here. We have a difficult question. Let's give it to microphone.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Omar Mushiri. My question also regards the so-called young bar. I'm part of the young bar, the youngest. My question is, don't you think the reason candidates address this issue of the young bar is because the young bar has votes? There is nothing so special about being young or being a youth. If the young bar or the young advocates were to listen to the stories of the so-called senior bar, they would understand it's just part of the process. It just needs input, discipline, and consistency. And I addressed this thing in our WhatsApp group. The changes in history have been brought about by the young people. And I cited Jesus, I cited Alexander the Great, I cited Napoleon, I cited Sankara. There is just nothing special. It's just that the candidates know that the young bar has votes. And if you even look at the past leadership, there has been nothing so special that they have done to address the young bar. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I be heard from the back? I can be heard, right?
Try this.
I can be heard, right? Crystal clear? Because if I'm not crystal clear, I will ditch the mic and stand there and talk loudly instead. Yeah, these are pertinent questions, and I like that we are having this conversation. It's important that in an election year, that leadership is driven by conversations that members crave. This is the conversations we want to have had 10 years ago in the legal sector. But we are having this conversation when there is what I call a pandemic in terms of the practice environment. We do have a pandemic, and I'll explain what that pandemic means. The legal sector now is experiencing significant challenges. You might underestimate
the challenges that the legal sector faces, but they are so significant. From where I sit as a legal risk analyst and someone who has studied economics a little bit, I know that we have a major problem. And if you look at it from exponentially, in the next couple of years, next 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, if we don't do something about it, we'll have a problem, especially at the bottom of the profession. The legal sector in Kenya is experiencing challenges which the legal sector in other jurisdictions are facing, even though our challenges are a bit unique. Unique in the sense that we have accelerated the registration of law schools. Nowadays, how many law schools do we have now? Yeah, there are many law schools. And these law schools produce lawyers. And you cannot shut down that tap of production of lawyers. You can't. They will come into the market. But when they are coming into a market, the market itself is experiencing significant challenges. The market is experiencing what I call the push and pull forces of economic modernization, liberalization, and digitization of services. And one of the major factors which defines then such a market is lack of opportunities. So from all the law schools, and we've just licensed, I think three or four more law schools, I'll find out. So in the next 4 years, then in the terms of estimation, we expect at least next 4 years, we expect at least 7,000 new practitioners into this market, the market that is suffering from depressed opportunities. So then the question is, what is the fate of practitioners in such a market, especially the young legal practitioners? Are there opportunities in this market for us to grab? Because the legal curriculum trains us to become litigation lawyers. Is that correct? The legal curriculum trains us to be conveyancers, even though conveyancing is dominantly maybe 10% of the training. Most of it is about a litigation practitioner. Is that correct? So when you come into the market, then there are many of you sharing that bread, the litigation bread, the conveyancing bread, the small one. The commercial bread, maybe a few of us are in the center. Then you will see the market experiencing significant challenges. What challenge does the market experience? Unemployment. Do we have unemployment in the legal sector? Yes, there are lawyers who are unemployed. Something that is unheard of a legal profession, one of the oldest professions in the world. That you have lawyers who are unemployed because there are no opportunities in the market. Secondly, you will find a major issue about underpayment. Lawyers are not paid well. There are law firms, lawyers in Nairobi who are paid 15,000, 20,000. I have met these lawyers. They have interacted with me and said, Wanyama, just do what you can to talk to my boss to increase my salary. Because they are paid on a take, leave it and take it scenario. And that salary does not come on a monthly basis. It comes sporadically. It affects you. Yet there are opportunities in the market that we can tap in. Then you'll also find that in terms of just the challenges within the market, there are other issues like low remuneration of pupils. Pupils then will be paid less. And getting people the opportunity for you, they don't take you on board into their law firm, but you walk around the law courts, attending to matters in a freelancing perspective. So what we are saying here is that we now need to open up a proper discussion, because the legal sector is facing significant risks, massive risks. The other risks are external. The risk of regulation of the sector by government. Governments are increasingly eager to enact intrusive regulatory instruments for the legal sector. There is a proposal to introduce the no-fault based system and the Advocates Fidelity Fund. The Advocate Fidelity Fund is still a proposal which is in about it first before I go to the no-fault basis system. The Advocate Fidelity Fund is based on the fact that they say lawyers are not doing well when it comes to Section 4 of the Law Society of Kenya Act, the function which requires us to relate well with our clients. There's a function there. Look at it. There are 14 functions in the Section 4 of the Law Society of Kenya Act. But so there's a gap between ourselves and members of the public. So the Attorney General, the AG's office is now saying that whenever you pay for your PC, there'll be a proposal that you pay money into a fund. The Advocate Fidelity Fund, it's a proposal. And it will be passed. So that the money in that fund is used to compensate members of the public from the bad things that we do. Yes, and it will be paid even if it's enacted into law. It's an intrusive legislation. If enacted into law, whenever you pay for your PC, LSK will be collecting a portion of it. It will go to the Advocates Fidelity Fund. Some kind of an insurance compensation. Secondly, the proposed introduction of a no-fault based system, which is worse. If you look at the history of the legal sector, the challenges which lawyers have been facing, the first was the two-check system. The two-check system was born on the government's position that lawyers are stealing clients' money from insurance compensation. And therefore, what happens is that when you compensate a victim of, from an RTA case, all you need to do is to write a check to the lawyer, one check, and the other check directly to the client. So we fought that, but it's a risk to legal practice. Now, the major risk, which we can't resist, because we are getting into an era of technological advancement and digitization of services, and they will use that as the guinea pig to push through the idea that compensation is prescribed in an electronic platform. That is how a no-fault based system works. So you don't need a lawyer to sue. If a road accident has occurred, you don't need to blame anyone. Compensation is prescribed. And insurance companies have done their own mathematics. And for us, we know what they do. We know what they do when they are playing around with the balance sheet, so that they don't want to pay lawyers. They have never wanted to pay lawyers. But here they are saying that if you pay 5 million to a victim, the lawyer keeps 4.5 million and gives the victim 500,000. Then the victim is unhappy. But what if we pay the victim 2 million directly? It is less from our coffers, and the victim is very happy, more than happy. So that's our no-fault basis. It's driven by market economics. And if that is introduced, then we will have a very serious risk to legal practitioners. And they will do so under the guise of digitization and artificial intelligence. They're saying this is what we need to introduce in the market. And it will affect the legal practitioner in Kitui, it will affect the legal practitioner in Kibilini, the legal practitioner in Mandera, the legal practitioner in Murana, and the legal practitioner here in Nairobi. So all the law firms that specialize in running down, you'll be significantly affected when this proposal is introduced. And remember, it is a popular proposal with members of the public. And we all know the legislative making process in Kenya is driven by lobbying. And when you lobby, these players have resources to lobby. They will lobby. So these proposals will go through. And that is why you need a very strong leadership at LSK to push back some of these issues. What we've been having at LSK, sadly to say this, for the last 10 years, is a leadership that does not respond to practice challenges. A leadership that does not address the core issues that practitioners want. So we've been having what I call a mechanical relationship with our bar society, with our Law Society of Kenya. A mechanical relationship. That is why when you've been electing leaders to join the Law Society of Kenya, they will make promises. We have in-house practitioners here in the public sector who say that they have listened to very many promises on non-practicing allowances, and nothing has been implemented. It's because we use these issues to campaign, and then when you get into office, we engage in significant forms of self-dealing. We don't care about the issues that members pushed us. Maybe we may care a little bit, but then not in a meaningful and qualitative way. So we are in what I call a leadership inertia. Inertia is the second law, the first law of physics, second law of physics, is that when an object is in a state of inertia, you have to push it a little bit for it to move. And you're not saying nothing is happening. In that state of inertia, there's something that is happening, right? There's some form of leadership, some semblance of leadership that is happening. But you need to push it a little bit, to move from one body to the other one, from one place to the other one. And that is how leadership ought to be. And that is how you transform leadership. You must introduce fresh, new ideas. Otherwise, if we think that leadership will change when we don't have, when we don't think outside the box, we don't introduce innovative ideas, we will be lying to ourselves. We must push this object, the leadership object at LSK, by introducing in fresh ideas. It's absolutely important we do so. Our future depends on it. Our practice depends on it. The practice environment is, judges nowadays don't fear practitioners. They don't fear lawyers at all. To the extent that they can issue an order that a lawyer shall not be procured by a public agency. That tells you something that is emblematic of their attitude towards legal sector in Kenya, towards lawyers. How on earth? You know, the orders that were issued in Nakuru, in my view, are far-reaching, consequential orders. One of the most riskiest orders to the practicing space. But we don't seem to talk about it in a consequential way at LSK level. Did LSK level patrol the environment? Is it patrolling the environment, the practice environment, to monitor risks that face practitioners? Or do we patrol the environment and monitor risks that face members of the public only? Do we focus our attention to practitioners? Because a lot is happening in the market. A lot is happening in the legal economy. If we don't push back, we will lose our profession in the next 10 years. A judge has issued orders that are outrightly unconstitutional. And you can, all you need to see is read the provisions of Article 227, paragraph 2 of the Constitution. The public agency shall procure. And it procures all services, goods and services. It does not say that a public agency shall procure engineering services and not legal services. You introduce the interplay of the provisions of Article 27 of the Constitution. Equality, we are all equal before the law. So is the judge saying that henceforth public funds will not be used also to pay the medical clinic that is owned by Dr. Gakedi? It's a private medical clinic. And henceforth we now only pay through SHA funds, through public clinics. Is that what the judge is saying? That Kenya Broadcasting Corporation shall be the sole institution to receive advertisements and not NTV. And by the way, they are all over the newspapers condemning us, not knowing that that logic, when turned around, can also be used against them. That government should not advertise on Nation, should look for its own newspaper and pay. KENHA, the Kenya National Highways Authority, shall not outsource engineering services. They must hire surveyors and architects from in-house. We cannot allow them to pay external external services of architects, quality surveyors, etc., when they are employed inside. Is that the logic that we want to go through? We all want to go through? If it is, then so be it. So you can see that if you extract that order from the judge, you will see that this is a judge who really is hurting the legal sector. And the worst part is that those interlocutory orders were confirmed. They were confirmed. The orders have been confirmed, and the matter is, the petition is going for hearing, but effective 12th of February. Public agencies, through a court order, are not required to procure legal services. They are supposed to justify the procurement of external legal services. Will that hurt our practicing space? Is it a good decision? Definitely it's not. Not a good decision. Will it hurt our practice space? Yes, it will hurt our practice space. It will reduce income to practitioners. the lawyers, young lawyers, mid-bar lawyers, and senior lawyers who depend on public agencies for payments. And there are thousands of lawyers that do that. They will suffer. Don't we speak for them? So in such a context, as a young legal practitioner, these are the challenges that you'll experience. This is the market that you're working in. So how do you, as a young legal practitioner, then fit in? These are the issues that we need to have a dialogue, discussion on. And remember, ours is a capitalist economy. No one owes you favors. Not all of us are from the privileged elite. Majority of us have risen from the bottom. They keep on saying here about Rongai, I have lived in Rongai. I have begun my life at Majengo. I have begun my life at Majengo slums. The challenges which I underwent, some of you can never ever persevere. I have lived in Rongai. Once I walked from Nyayo to Rongai because the matatu was charging 80 shillings and it was raining, and you can't find these matatus. So I know my way around. And that context of them saying that I was, because I'm also answering that question, that I was disrespecting young lawyers, they picked that clip and created intense propaganda. And let me say, they are very good at creating propaganda. But it does not change who we are. It will never change who we are. Secondly, it will never stop me from sharing my experiences on how to grow in the legal sector as a practitioner. Because we all have to grow. Because I know that you are not the son or the daughter of the CEO of Equity Bank. For them, they are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Is that correct? If someone comes from that family and they become a lawyer, they will not experience challenges, which you experience. Right? They'll quickly set up pompous office with those Baroque composers playing in the negotiate better salaries. At the workplace, you will find significant challenges and you must fight them up. Some of you give up and you set up your own law firm. And you give up for good reason. And when you go out to the market, you realize, when I set up my law firm, I made an application for associate at IKM Advocates, and they never replied. After I set up my law firm, and all I needed to do, yet my break was just 1 year away. Every lawyer, so long as you can work hard, so long as you can bring something to the table, the market will always notice you. But you must be distinctive. You must bring something to the table. You must acquire knowledge. Because the pathway to bring something to the table is to acquire knowledge. In the philosophy of perception, you're doing this work. Because you're exhibiting your good characteristics. And that is how the market works. So in terms of strategy, as a young lawyer, there is no way to my leadership vision for the Law Society of Kenya. Yes, it does. I believe that if you look at the provisions of Section 4 of the Lsk Act, there is something, there are functions which are unexplored. Ought to fill a Law Society of Kenya. Not at that point where you are paying your PC in a mechanical way. You just want to comply. So you will sign in a CPD. You don't even listen to the content. Because you don't feel a Law Society of Kenya. The Law Society of Kenya. Look at Section 4. Law Society of Kenya is supposed to ensure that its members continuously acquire knowledge through continuous professional development program. Is that correct? Correct. Now ask yourself, has Law Society of Kenya facilitated in a meaningful and qualitative way a program for knowledge acquisition that when businesses grow, when government invests, foreign investors invest, the economy grows, the market moves on. And these opportunities are then taken over by the few lawyers who know how the market operates, and non-lawyers who now undertake legal assignments. Do you know that in the field of policy and legislative development is non-lawyers who draft legislation? Can you imagine a non-lawyer drafting a legislation and then telling you to come and give views as a stakeholder? They give you a zero draft as a stakeholder, legislative development agenda. So what is happening to us lawyers? What is happening to us? We are losing our space. We need to exert dominance. Myself, when I sit at a table, whether they're by accountants, we want to be driven by economists. Remember, accountants are now doing tax advocacy. It is so sad. I encourage any lawyer who has come to this room to get lawyers. I was privileged the other day when I visited a lawyer called Pareno. Solanke. And he told me he has a master's degree from the Kenya Revenue. Only there are three others. What we are saying is that we need to kick out accountants from the tax appeals tribunal. They ought not to do advocacy. They ought to whisper on tax law to make the argument in court. And when elected Lsk President, I will ensure that we push so that accountants don't do the advocacy. Get short courses on tax law so that you can venture out and represent these clients. You market yourself out there. Get these short courses, understand the nooks and crannies to audit me in 2020. That's when they were telling me there's this legal notice, there's that law. Then when I was challenging them, they said, Wanyama, you can't challenge this. This is the law. I'm profiled as a practitioner of tax law. But I didn't. I was just styling myself as a practitioner of constitutional law. There's a huge regime, there's a fertile ground there which we need to explore. And there are many other subsectors that we need to get into. As I said, there are 19 of them. We cannot all be in one sector. We must create specialization. And specialization starts by acquiring knowledge. You can never, ever, ever specialize without you acquiring knowledge in a specific area. We need lawyers in energy sector. There are a lot of developments nowadays from a global perspective on energy sector. We need lawyers who understand policy and legal framework for renewable energy development, because renewable energy is now driving the global policy agenda. Even though there is a pushback from America, the election of Trump, but we expect that to continue because of the Chinese domination of the market. The Chinese cars are now edging, the electric cars are now edging the American cars, the electric manufacturers in the market. And for them, they are driven by renewable energy development. So the policies which they are pushing, we will find our own way here in government, Kenyan government, county governments. They will need experts, even private companies, to comply with the regulations on renewable energy development. We need policy and legislative instruments on renewable energy development. You will be interacting with the clients if they don't know the laws out of Kenya. I know the laws out of Kenya inside out. Laws out of Kenya lost some funds long time ago belonging to the World Bank. And we've never recovered from that reputation. They'll never give us money directly into our bank accounts to be able to fund local side of Kenya programs. We will strengthen that secretariat. We will not go there to fight anyone. In terms of collegiality, we will work together. Because I know to go in a meeting and don't say anything. And I'll abide by it. Others have said, Wanyama now, just go into that meeting and say only one statement. Then leave the rest to me. Or you just, in confronting these significant challenges facing the back. To me, everything ought to be on the table. We will consult, but as a strategist, I will tell you, I'll give you the options that we need, that we'll have for us to. We write a letter to the chairperson of the Tax Appeals Tribunal saying that henceforth, under the provisions of Section 32 and 34 of the Advocates Act, we will not. And then you follow it up. But we are not doing it. Accountants are dominating the sector. What about surveyors who are doing succession matters? Is it possible for us to engage the court registries? Suffering. Now you've been taken back to the mainstream of judiciary. Is it something that we can do? Why did we reach there, Bishop? It is true, and I concede that some of these initiatives might take some time to implement. But there are some that we must implement immediately, like using the CPD program to try and reposition the brave new world. The brave new world is now defined by technological advancement. It is happening in our faces now. Artificial intelligence is meant to supplement human intelligence. But if we don't learn how to use software, because the greatest investment now to a lawyer is not a pompous office, but it is a computer that is well equipped with adequate software. And some of these softwares are not made locally. They are made by global institutions such as Adobe, Acrobat, Microsoft, Google. They are all companies based in Silicon Valley. And their advances in terms of modern computing means that they are using quantum computers to power their devices. When you access some of these softwares from Nairobi, you are accessing them from quantum computers which are maintained in the US. There are very few quantum computers around. Quantum computers are a development in quantum mechanics. New development, and it's happening. This is being used to drive artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence, if we are not careful, it will weed us out. Because digitization, people get to use services. Once they know how to use these technological platforms that have AI-embedded systems that are powered by quantum computers, it's very easy for them to go digitally and search the record of appeal themselves and do some certain work for themselves using the software. You will not need a lawyer. It will make persons acting in cases increase, because they will understand how to use software more than lawyers. And if I know how to use software and I can summarize my pleadings by using artificial intelligence, do I need a lawyer? I don't need a lawyer. I will do the work myself, and I will save myself the legal costs. Are they taking work from us? Definitely yes. So these are some of the issues that we need to converse. So we need to have a program in this brave new world, and that is why I'm different from the other candidates. I'm not saying they are bad. The question which was asked, I'm answering to that one. I'm not saying they are bad candidates. They have their own advantages and disadvantages. So I am. I'm not a perfect human being as well. I have my own advantages and disadvantages. I'm not a perfect human being. However, when it comes to now offering leadership, we are saying that you have been there. We are still in a state of inertia. Advocates are complaining about certain challenges in the practicing space. What ideas do you have to infuse and remove impurities in this practicing space? You have been there more than 14 years ago. Are you strong enough to confront these challenges from an intellectual perspective? Because we need a law society of Kenya that is led by someone whose character, the character of your intellect is also strong enough to appreciate these challenges from another dynamic, from an outside dynamic. You may be from inside, your character of intellect may be strong, but you are from inside. You suffer from complacency, or you are stuck in the past, your ideas are frozen in the past. So we need a futuristic law society of Kenya that focuses on members' issues. We must prioritize these members, these practitioners who don't have incomes. How will you go to Mandamano when you don't have money in your pocket? Yeah, you need to go there when you are empowered. You can even buy your own microphone. You put a good placard. Yeah, you say now, one term, you must resign. Right? Do so when you are economically empowered. But we are suffering, really. Practitioners are really suffering. It's a major challenge to our practicing space that we must address. And we must plant the seeds for the growth of the legal sector. People say that I've not built institutions that have been experienced. What they don't know is that I am one of the most experienced persons for leadership at LSK. Just that I've not been given opportunity to serve. But I understand the challenges which we face as an institution. I know how to make Law Society of Kenya institutionally monochrome and monotask for its members. We must work for our members. I know how to strengthen that secretariat, because when you go in and then you push radical programs, the physics laws. For every action, there is always a reaction. If you push them hard, they will hit back. And I'm told that at the Law Society of Kenya, sometimes it is the secretariat which has a problem. In fact, last weekend I had a 1-hour conversation with Faith Odhiambo. We were sitting somewhere at the VIP lodge. The airport waiting for a flight to Kisumu. I sneaked in. I'm not a member of the VIP lodge, but I sneaked in and I saw Faith Odhiambo there. And I said, Madam President, what is the single most major challenge that you have faced? And we had a candid discussion for almost 1 hour. And Faith told me
the challenges from a deep perspective. Challenges which I relate with, challenges which I have seen, and challenges, and she also offered me advice. So when you go to Law Society of Kenya, you will not fight staff, but rather you strengthen systems. Like there is one program which advocates have been talking about, the pro bono scheme. Actually, that's a major program which can create employment opportunities for young legal practitioners. Is that correct? Yeah, but we need to start setting it up now. We need for it to be grown into a huge program. How come FIDA and Kituo cha Sheria have rule of law based programs that are huge and funded by development partners, when LSK we don't have an active rule of law based program? What if we create a rule of law based program where we say that from regions we have lawyers who are attached to Law Society of Kenya and they will do our pro bono cases and we are paying them this kind of income per case from a basket which we'll have collected? Is it possible? Is it doable? Yes, but you must set up that program by getting a program officer. Look at the concerns for the young bar. Do we know how many lawyers are unemployed? Do we know how many lawyers? Do you have data on the lawyers who are unemployed and need help? When as Lsk President, I go get an opportunity somewhere and there's a need somewhere from the legal profession, how will I know if I don't have data? So basically, I'll be exercising my discretion. I pick this call, I pick that call, and then that's how I get to know your needs. But we need to have an active program for the young bar and Law Society of Kenya, where we can monitor the challenges which they face. There are some of us who have certain unique challenges. You talked about depression, you talked about mental health. We must have a data on the advocates who need help and a response from Law Society of Kenya. Because one of the functions in Section 4 of the LSK Act is welfare. So myself, they say that there is no money to buy motor vehicles for branches on welfare issues, but if that is something that we need to do. If there is no money, then why can't we go? Do we need to buy branch level on welfare issues? 37 million. Are you telling raise for the Wakili Towers? Great idea. Can't we fundraise for these 37 vehicles because mental health for advocates is a serious issue? So that if there is a motor vehicle in Nairobi branch, and here I am thinking we should get a bus, because Nairobi is the largest branch. So that if there is a motor vehicle that we are using, maybe a member of the public, of the young bar has lost a relative, because all of us are not immortal. You can lose a relative. And then we go in solidarity with you in our vehicle. You know, it improves our image, right? It improves that profile. These are the small things that we do that are part and parcel of the broader initiatives to create an organic relationship between members. But you can imagine you're going there in Anduthi, you have arrived, you are tired, another one comes in a vehicle. You know, it does not enhance solidarity. We need to have organic solidarity in the legal profession for people to start respecting us. And so the small things actually matter. So we must do all these things to be able to redeem the image of our profession. And leadership here means that then you must promise members. Because myself, I have not served outside, I have not served in the council. I am coming on board too with ideas to promise members. Because that is how you create a social contract in the electorate. Is that you make a promise which members will believe, and then when they elect you into office, then you have a binding social contract. Isn't that how it works? Is it mandatory that you must be leadership for you to get elected? It's not mandatory, right? But then what is leadership itself? What have I done as Peter Wanyama to have a certain basis so that I am not what we call tabula rasa, with nothing in my mind? I have no idea what is going on, yet I'm offering myself in leadership. Do I look like that person who has nothing? Yes. We must ask that question so that I can answer, right? Let me tell you something. Every human being possesses what we call synthetic a priori ideas. You will know that this is a
a bottle without being told this is a bottle. Is that correct? You will know that this is a flower without being told this is a flower. Is that correct? You don't need special knowledge to be told this is a flower. And in the same vein, will you know whether LSK requires a fresh leadership or not? You will know, right? Because of the gaps that you will experience. Yes. So myself, I have practiced law for 18 years. I've been privileged to work in the policy and legislative space from the formative years where, and in nearly all the sectors, water, technology, agricultural sector, transport, road sector, renewable energy, etc., in all the sectors, including aviation. And I believe I am sufficiently empowered in terms of knowledge to just know where the challenges are. I introduced legal audit and statutory risk assessment course in Kenya when I was just a young practitioner. I also laid the basis for the building of the setting up of programs for the Council of Governors between 2013 and 2017 when I was on retainer. In fact, they are saying that I'm not qualified for Lsk President because I did some cases for the Council of Governors. That's one of the arguments which they are saying, but not true. Most of the cases that I did were to anchor the devolved government system, but I also helped to set up institutions, set up the Council of Governors Secretariat itself. And there we negotiated development programs, development partners, etc., in nearly all the sectors. So I know how to manage conflict. I have stood on the shoulders of other people. Let me mention it here, but I'll mention to you behind the tent. There are so many things that we've done, building global institutions. I've attended short courses abroad. Courtesy of other people they have helped me to see how ideas work, how an institution can be transformed. So I verily believe that when given the opportunity, I will offer what LSK badly needs. And remember, I am not going there to steal your money. I'm going there to just lead. If I fail, it is because I will have failed. And to me, failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. How many of you know the great Italian mathematician known as Lsk President? Lsk President is the progenitor of the double entry bookkeeping, where he said that
So the next 15 minutes.
Is that permissible? Public participation, is that okay? They are saying
okay, they have asked for two. So I will take a microphone there. Any other question? Okay, so that one and that gentleman there.
And then for aspirants, for other aspirants, I can see you. Don't say that Wanyama has not given us opportunity. You're going to speak shortly. Most likely we'll serve in the council together, God willing. Or we can also be outside. Then you will meet me in the streets and say, Wanyama, but you never gave me the opportunity. That's how I lost.
Thank you so much, Bwana Rais. My name is Chatia Eboyele. I practice in the name of Chatia Eboyele Company Advocates. I am a member of Nairobi branch, and I'm happy today to see one of our council members, Oyo, in this particular forum. However, there's an only issue that I think most candidates have evaded and not tried to handle. Nairobi branch hosts about 12,000 to 15,000 members. We have 8 branches in this particular LSK. When you look at how funds are divided, we have the devolution and the per head. 60% coming from devolution, I'm a lover of data. 60% coming from devolution, 30% per head. When you look at how the funds get to this particular branch, you'll realize there's a disadvantage to Nairobi. It's funny that for the 1 year I had Mr. Kivuva speaking, he almost cries because of the burden that he has of the 12,000 to 15,000 members with still the same kind of amount. And so my question to you, Bwana Rais, is in your council, what plans do you have to create an equitable method to be able to provide Nairobi branch a chance to lead? Because we're going to have new members and have funds that are going to be able to manage that particular branch. And not, we're not saying that other branches are not important. They are very, very important. But what kind of method are you going to have for this particular plan?
Thank you. Because of time, be specific like an enzyme. Enzyme Thailand only digests starch. So ask the question, then you can lay a basis in. Only one sentence, so that we manage time. More questions, but be specific. You can lay a basis a little bit.
Thank you so much, the incoming president. My question draws from your 5th agenda, which is to support the branches, the LSK branches, in a meaningful, qualitative, and consequential manner to ensure that there are no more promises and empty talks. So concerning the issue of corruption in the LSK and allegations of mismanagement of funds, how are you going to seal that gap to ensure that you act in the best interest of the members as the president? Thank you.
Is there any other question? Is there any other question? No question, no? Maybe the last question.
But then, as I was yapping and campaigning for you, there was a colleague of mine who said, on the utterances of Rongai and everything, which were misconstrued, responding to her apology.
Any other question? I can answer this, right? Do we agree that when I answer, we break or we continue talking? We break, eh? How many of you say when I answer, we break? But I thought I said we have other aspirants. When do you want them to speak to us? After I answer, right? To give them opportunity? Because they are good people? Thank you.
So here's the problem.
General is giving something which I already wrote.
No settings are to allow.
Yeah, it is true that Nairobi branch is the largest, and I think there is something in that inertia, in that leadership inertia, there is something which is being done. Is that correct? Or something which they are proposed to do. Is that correct? There's something which they are proposed to do. As I say, as I told you, I will always give credit where it is. you. So there's something which they have proposed to do, the current council. They have said that the branch will be given the offices in South Sea after the Wakili Towers is complete. That's a promise on the table, is that correct? Is it a good idea? But in the meantime, what do we do to ensure that the branch does not suffer? Because I know the branch, there are challenges at the branch. Oyo is coming to tell us as he seeks for his mandate. What I know is that we must strengthen the Nairobi branch. We must ensure that Nairobi branch has proper offices. Some of these member-driven initiatives, we should not burden the Nairobi, the national office. Welfare issues in Nairobi, all welfare issues ought to be addressed by an empowered Nairobi branch. It is Nairobi branch where we need to have program officers to support young members, program officers to scout for opportunities for young practitioners, program members, program officers for some of these rule of law based programs. To me, that is what I anticipate the Nairobi branch to be like the Newcastle Law Society in England. The Newcastle Law Society, if you compare it with the one in London, they are independent, they have their own programs. At some point, Law Society of Kenya used to have a training program with Newcastle Bar. What happened to us? Are you aware that Law Society of Kenya used to have a training program with the Newcastle Bar? Are you aware that we used to have a training program? That they will come here and we will go there. We sit, we learn, benchmark. They also come and share ideas here because they cannot learn and benchmark from us. So you're not aware. So you can imagine when we are saying that we want to bring that back. Is it not a good idea? Something which has been done before. So the branch should be the focal point of some of these programs, and for the branch for that to happen, the branch must be sufficiently empowered. Well, we tell you that they are not sufficiently empowered, that they don't have adequate resources. That sometimes the chairperson of the branch will use personal resources for branch activities. I know that. The branch officials will use personal resources for branch activities. So is that a leadership that will work for members in a meaningful and qualitative way? That is the word which I would like to use throughout. Definitely not. So we need to sit as the national office of LSK when elected to devise proper strategies to empower the Nairobi branch. Some of these ideas that we are pushing ought to be implemented at the branch level. Corruption. Let me tell you something. Under my watch, money will not be lost. I make that express, clear, and unequivocal undertaking that we will ensure that money is not lost. Money belonging to members ought not to be lost. And myself, as the Lsk President, when elected, I will not earn any allowances from Law Society of Kenya. Instead, the money will be put in a basket and used to be given youth for branch support. I know 1 or 2 cases of welfare. The advocates who have committed suicide. It's very painful when you learn to try to find out the cause of suicide. We could have done something, but then when they commit suicide, it damages the profile of the institution. People say that an advocate has committed suicide. Do you know what that means? Yet we can intervene. We can actually intervene through some of these programs. We don't blame them for who they are, but we intervene and help them to emerge from these challenges which they experience. So to weed out corruption, all you need is a determined leadership. Leadership that makes no excuses, a leadership itself that does not steal. Because if I am going there and I'm telling the CEO, the CEO ile 1 million tunilete kwa nyumba jioni. Right? Will the CEO, will we have a good organization? They'll be pilfering, right? I'll be setting an example for pilferage at the top. So sometimes to weed corruption, you just need to do the small little things. They do matter. They actually do matter. Leading by an example. Creating an organization that is driven by ethical desires and considerations. But if yourself you are dirty, myself have practiced law for 18 years without a single client complaining about me, without a single case at the disciplinary tribunal. And to me that is an example of ethical leadership. So is there any other question? Any other question, please? Can I now ask for leave to hand over the microphone to the moderator who will listen to our good aspirants? I beg that you listen to them. They have come here that you listen to them. They want to create a social contract with you, and you need to select the best, the one who you believe will lead you and the society of Kenya with the required zeal, determination, and enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Allow me to maybe take the privilege, because people don't know that I am a moderator as well. So allow me to take the privilege to invite all the aspirants to come. All the aspirants, please, you may come. I saw Mkanzi. He says he's Mkanzi wa kazi. I don't know whether he's left. Etiang, the competitor. Mkanzi wa kazi, please come. I saw Effie. Is Effie your favorite? Yes. She will tell you herself. And then you have Dr. Oyo himself. Who else is an aspirant? Maybe you have been sent by an aspirant to speak to us. You also have the privilege to come. Where is Kachapin? I hear he's an aspirant. Kachapin is not around, okay? So aspirants, we will start with the focal point. We'll start with the focal point of LSK activities, the Nairobi branch. Aspirants for Nairobi, representative, it is your moment. And, I can start with Dr. Oyo.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening again. My name is Wycliffe Oyo. Some of you also know me as Oyo Daktari. I am a council member at the Nairobi branch, and I am vying for the position of Nairobi representative, where we have 3 slots. Before I say anything, I have the leave of Peter Wanyama to say something about what Mr. Chatia talked about. This is not a campaign issue. It is just something from the branch. Probably we would want the membership to understand about the money situation at the LSK Nairobi branch. In March of last year, the branch sponsored a motion for increased funding at the branch. That motion was defeated on the floor for various reasons, some of them political. We took the opportunity in June of last year through the secretary to the branch, one weekly for you, to try and explain to members what that motion was about and how it impacts our work at the branch. Briefly, as Chatia says, I'm also a mathematician. I didn't do law because I felt maths. I did law because I like law. We have 76% of the membership of the Law Society of Kenya being Nairobi branch members. Of the 18,000 voters that are going to vote on the 19th of February this year, 13,860 of those voters are members of Nairobi branch. The current formula that is employed to divide money to the branches has a lot of weight put on equal share. But we are saying that you cannot have equal share when we have 76% of the membership, when 24% of the membership is spread across 7 branches of the Law Society of Kenya. But more importantly, if you break it down to the numbers, what it means is that for each of you seated here today, because I am persuaded all of you are my members of the branch, we only have 987 shillings per member to serve you per year. That compares to up to 4,600 elsewhere per member to serve. Nairobi has a secretariat which I head, where we have 8 employees. Nairobi includes Thika and Kiambu. Nairobi is as expansive as we know it. If you go to the voting stations that have been released by the Elections Board, you will find that Milimani alone has over 8 streams. The Supreme Court of Kenya has 11 streams, voting streams. No other part of this country has as many numbers as the Nairobi branch. So when we are talking about funding the branches and funding Nairobi branch in particular, we are not saying we want to disenfranchise other branches. What we want to do is to capacitate the branch, and Mr. Wanyama has been very gracious. He is saying the branch is going to have a van. He's now saying the branch is going to be added money. These are the things we are looking at. The council that is outgoing added 2 million shillings as devolution or as a grant on top of the shareable allocation we have at the branch. But our point is this: we cannot live on tokenism. We do not want Nairobi branch to be held ransom by those who are occupying the office at Vitanga Road, and that is why we moved the motion to redo the formula for allocation of money to the branches. I am asking for your support and vote to serve at the National Council, but I want to urge you that the incoming Nairobi Branch Council, if you vote for me, if you don't vote for me, I won't be vying for the branch leadership in the elections of 8th of May this year. But I want to beseech you, this 3rd day of February, the year of our Lord 2026, support the incoming branch council, and not just support them. If this motion comes again, interrogate the motion, understand the motion, and if need be, support the motion. With that explanation in mind, allow me now to ask for your votes. I have served as a secretary to the branch and as a council member. I bring a strong track record based on service since I was admitted to the bar on the 31st of January 2017 to now. Serving in committees, speaking at the annual conferences, moderating webinars, and now as a council member at the branch. I have a 5-point agenda, if you look at my manifesto, which I've been sharing with you, and branch development and devolution is at the top of that agenda. What I am saying is that I understand what we need at the Law Society of Kenya, and I'm going to the National Council to speak for Nairobi first and foremost, but to speak for devolution generally. What I want to urge you is just one thing, Okari. Do not gamble when you go to the elections, and you have no reason to gamble if Wycliffe Oyo is on that ballot. Number 2, and more importantly, as I sit down, is to tell you that for us to focus on the member, and that I think we want a member-centric Law Society of Kenya, we must elect leaders who are available. These people who have to lead you, do they interact with you in your WhatsApp groups? Do they meet you in your courts? Do they respond to your calls? Do they assist you in drafting? Do they share precedents with you? Look for that leader on the ballot, and if you go to the Nairobi representative position, you will find Wycliffe Oyo there. Elect him. Thank you.
I would like to ask all the candidates to strictly adhere to timelines because people are hungry.
Hi guys. Hi. Team PMO, hello. Hello. Mimi ndio Effie Sheila Achieng. Yeah. Maneno ya Nairobi, I don't talk about things that rumors or things that people hear about. Mimi ndio mama welfare hapa Nairobi. And this guy here, Mr. Peter Wanyama, is one of the reasons why we have done a mentorship in this same building down here. Tupigie senior makofi. last year, when I reached out to Peter Wanyama and I asked him to support young advocates, he paid for 65 people to attend a mentorship down here. So these mentorships are not things that start with elections. They're things we have lived at the branch. As the welfare convener, nime-convene mentorships mingi sana. Na shida ya branch kukosa pesa is not something that I come and speak to you as theory. When I'm planning a mentorship event, na branch inanipatia 0 bob, naingia kwa my inbox ya my seniors. Can you sponsor 10 advocates? Can you sponsor 5? Sasa nimekuwa naomba. Sasa nimekuja kuomba kura zenu. That nikifika kwa national office, the thing that we have to do, and I agree with Mr. Wanyama, we have to empower the branches. I have lived it. I have seen how it is not working. I don't want the next welfare convener akuje anze kuomba, seniors tupatie 20k, tupatie hata 5 basi kama kuna 20. Si tu empower branches zifanye kazi nzuri. Kama hii yenye tunakuja hapa, we get mentored, we eat something, we go home because we are paying for it in our PCP. Si ndio? Mimi naitwa Efi Sheila Achie and I'm asking for your vote to be your next Nairobi representative. My agenda is welfare, welfare, welfare. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Yesterday, I was somewhere on Gong Road at Apples Wood, and I met some of my colleagues. A gentleman was actually my classmate, and he told me, Halima, as a practitioner, there are issues that we uniquely face, and that is, we don't get any services without facilitation. I want you to take a minute, just a minute, and reflect on that, because every profession has an infrastructure. Imagine if a doctor, you walked into his room and he sent you to the lab, and the lab technician tells you, for me to release your result, you have to facilitate. How is it? What will doctors do? They will actually down their tools. We went to school, you got knowledge, you have skills, you came to the market and you want to monetize and live off. You come to a market and you're frustrated because you go to the court and merit is out of the window. You go to Ardhi House, you're frustrated by clerks and registrars. You go to BRS, it's a system of technology. You upload your application, you have to speak someone behind the veil. That is why in my manifesto I talk about something called legal profession infrastructure. Without infrastructure, none of us will eat well. We wait for the day, each one of us will walk, you put in effort and integrity and you're rewarded. That is one of the things I am advocating for. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Halima Ali. I am vying for the position of Nairobi Rep. I am a practitioner. I am clocking in 10 years. I have been in boardrooms. I am in energy and natural resource sector. And I am also advocating for what we call the emerging sectors of the law. I am asking our society one thing. The society is changing. The world is changing, our economies are changing, so are we, because we are social scientists and we attend to the society as it changes. LSK should be proactive. LSK should be the hub and platform where each one of you one day can just sit down, write an email and say, I am interested in the mining sector, and that email is taken into consideration and is deliberate event of sector engagement. Why am I saying this? Because as a professional service provider, a time will come when you don't have to limit yourself to the Kenyan economy. I have organized webinars where I have invited Kenyan lawyers who are in Congo, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and they are giving their services in emerging sectors of the law. If Anjarwala has a farm in Burundi, it has a farm in Tanzania and Southern Africa. Have you asked yourself the day you can also get the opportunity or develop a strategy that you can also have a say in multi-jurisdictional practice? 30 seconds, Halima. Yeah? Thank you. So, final. What I'm advocating is one, a shift in individualized service provision and institutionalized service provision. I'm saying let's build an LSK society or institution that is well-resourced, well-trained. We secure the institution by securing, we secure the profession by securing the institution. I'm asking for your vote. I am coming from different perspectives and I am pushing for different approach for our legal profession. Asanteni sana.
Colleagues, Jambo. Team PMO A. Team PMO A. SSB A. SSB A. My name is Nick Aboko Omari, or rather, Omari Aboko Nick. And I'm equally vying for the position of Nairobi rep in the upcoming elections. It will be a great pleasure and I'll be humbled if you gave me the mandate to serve you in council as a Nairobi representative. One of the areas that I resonate with my senior Wanyama is that equally he is keen on uplifting the young bar. Admittedly, I have not served in council before, and that is one of the things that I share with my senior Wanyama. The question is, where have you been, Omari? I have been setting up my farm. I have been running my farm. I've been struggling to pay bills. I've been attending matters on a daily basis. And therefore, as an active practitioner, I am now service ready to put members first because I understand the nuances and the challenges of practice from a very practical perspective. And all the things Wanyama talked about related to the small claims court, admittedly, and embarrassingly so, and I'm not embarrassed for that matter, I equally practice at the small claims court. And all the things that Wanyama talked about is the jurisdictional challenges. And it's talked about how the law society should have been at the forefront to alleviate some of these challenges. Allow me to just talk about one low-hanging fruit that I will ensure we have at the small claims court. It will be my desire, of course, with PMO's support, to ensure that at the point that you apply, at the point that the judgment is delivered, your degrees will be uploaded at the same time. Because I've realized, yes, you can have a judgment, but it's only as good as the paper it's on if you don't have a degree, if you don't have warrants that are signed for you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your judgment. The long and short, colleagues, I understand what we go through because I am an active practitioner, and I appeal upon you that come the election day, remember, Omari, Nick Aboko, let's have a balanced society that is all-inclusive, that also includes the mid-bar that serves at a vintage point to bridge the young and the senior bar. Thank you and God bless you. Asante sana.
Good evening, members. Kama unaniona nipungie mkono, najua tuko na njaa. I will not take a lot of your time, but even me, I'm so hungry. Thank you first for always opening your doors for us as we come to campaign and listen to us. My name is Modoni Gashara Cynthia. Modoni is an advocate who practices here in Nairobi and has had the privilege of serving you as a council member in Nairobi branch, where I have been co-convening the litigation practice committee, and we have been able to bring to you several webinars where we've had distinguished members of the bar and the bench. For the very first time, we had a judge of the Supreme Court of Kenya. I also brought to you the advocacy at the Court of Appeal. Many of our applications and matters are struck out because of how we filed them. And Modoni is here this evening, tried and tested, seeking your vote to serve you as a Nairobi representative. There are 3 slots. I am going by the right agenda. Protection of the rule of law. We are going to an election year. You need a firm council, and Modoni is promising you to bring firmness into that council. I am also very passionate about the branches. having been a council member at the branch, and I am seeking to devote resources to the branch. That is my third agenda. And my final agenda is efficiency in our courts and our land registries. Modoni is a practitioner. I practice civil and criminal law and a few conveyancing matters. Ninawaomba 19th of February, one of the slots, amwezi shinda, peeni Modoni kula. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Modoni. Now we go to, which one do we go to next? Up country. Because what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Up country, tuambie maneno.
You have 2 minutes each.
Good evening, Nairobi. Good evening again, praise God. My name is Hiram Kirimi. I practice in Meru. Actually, ndio nimefika tu sahi, just to, I hope I've not missed PMO. No, his speech. Anyway, I just arrived. My name is Hiram Kirimi. I practice from Meru. I'm seeking your support and vote for the position of LSK upcountry. Come the 19th. I'll not take much of your time. Mine is just devolution of the funds from National Council to the branches. I serve as the treasurer Mount Kenya branch, and as a treasurer, I've seen how branches lack. I'm now seeking your support. Just that when I get to that National Council, I'll make sure that money is devolved equally to all branches. With money at the branches, member welfare will be taken care of. That is my core agenda, devolution of funds. And then next is we need to amend our regulations. Majorly the upcountry, we travel all the way from Meru. Coast representative is here in Nairobi campaigning in Kisumu. I think we need to amend those laws. Each branch should nominate or just get a formula of getting someone to the National Council. It is easier. It will relate more to the members, right? So with that, I'll save the other 30 seconds for the rest of the members. I'll interact with you guys on a personal level. Let's continue.
Team PMO A. Team PMO A. SSB A. SSB A. Mimi sina mambo mengi. Sitaongea kama watu wa Nairobi, watu wa Ushago tuongeangi sana. My name is Sharon Adhiambo Oyoko. I do practice in Kisumu. I serve in LSK West Kenya as a council member, and I'm seeking to serve you in council as an upcountry representative. Mr. PMO Rais, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I think for me personally, every time you speak, there's always something new to learn about practice areas. And that is something which is very important, and thank you for that. As for my manifesto, ni kubwa sana, mmekutana nayo kwa internet, but one of the practical things that I want to do, I want to push for in council, mbona tusipatiwe 1 CPD point to vote? Because voting is an LSK exercise. It happens once after 2 years, so it only makes sense to kipatiwa 1 CPD point to vote to encourage high voter turnout and to enable us as advocates exercise our democratic rights. Thank you.
Viva members, viva! Viva PMO, viva! My name is General Okelo Godric Kennedy Adipo. Practice law in Kisumu. Yes, practice law in Kisumu. I'm a candidate for upcountry representative. I'm the first person in X1. Somewhere they say that Kantakaras, and that's what they say about PM. So when you hear they say birds of the same feathers, you have heard of that saying. So the lesser say, I have the leanest agenda in my post. There are only 3. One is transparency and accountability in LSK. That is what I've been doing. I'm now 8 years in practice, and in all AGMs, I've been pushing motions to voice the members' voices in the AGM. Last AGM, I had 4 motions myself. One of them, most of them were plotted on the floor. One of them was to increase the last expenses for advocate. Currently, we are being given 80,000, while the ABA collects 60 million every year. So I paid a proposal that will be paid at least 250 for our departed colleagues. So embarrassing to have an advocate die, the ABA goes there with 80,000 shillings. That is something even PMO himself can do a check. Yes, that was one of my motions. My second agenda is on strengthening of branches. I've heard the lamentations of the Nairobi branch leadership about their numbers. Once I take oath, we are going to sit down and discuss on the issue of equality and equity. Equality and equity. Equality means that Oyo here is equal to Joseph, who is practicing in Butere. Equity will tell us that somebody in Butere has certain challenges. So for that person to be equal to you, there must be some adjustment. So we are going to discuss that and get a better formula, and that is why my slogan in this campaign is the words of Thomas Sankara, that we either choose champagne for a few or water, safe drinking water for all. Why I say this is, for instance, the CPD committee. I sued them, I took them to court, the bloated CPD committee. There are 45. 4 of them, only 4, come from out country. 41 are from this region. Is that fair? The positions for parastatals. There's a time where one person was representing LSK in 3 parastatals, because the act simply say there need to be an LSK representative. And finally, my last agenda is compliance with Section 4 of the Law Society of Kenya. That is what majority of the aspirants have copy-pasted. The Section 4 of Law Society of Kenya Act stipulates our functions and objectives. What we just need is good manners to implement them. For instance, the rule of law.
10 seconds.
Yes, and for that, I seek your support. I'm the first person, Index 1, in upcountry representative. Thank you.
His name is David.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Faith. I'm not buying, unfortunately, but I'm holding Kevin Kachapin's brief. He couldn't make it. Yeah, so Kachapin is seeking the vote. He practices in Kapenguria, and he's actually the chair of Kapenguria chapter, and he's seeking your vote for the upcountry representative. He seeks for a level playing ground for all advocates, so that big law firms equally get law firms get equal opportunities as big law firms do. And his slogan is he's seeking upcountry because he's an advocate practicing from the real upcountry. So a voice, you'll get to experience a voice from the real upcountry, which is Kapenguria. Mfisahau Kachapin, Santini.
I hope we don't left anyone out for upcountry. Okay, now we are going to the general membership before we finalize our course.
Sabaleri wana PMO. Unajibu aheri. Wajalora nani nasema wananipenda. Sabaleri wana PMO. Kwa majina naitwa Vincent Obundi Otieno. I practice in Mombasa. I'm vying for the position of general member. I want to be short as I am and tell you 2 things. You will realize that there is encroachment and or uptake of quackery in our profession or practice space. It is time that we fight it out. That uptake of quackery is what led to what happened in Nakuru. That uptake of quackery is what makes activists think that they can practice law. If we don't protect the little we have, then it will be difficult for us to even protect the other avenues or the practice trends that are coming in. So let us protect the simple, the already job that we have by blocking all the quacks, blocking all clerks, blocking all advocates, warrants from practicing in our small space as we look in other areas. That is what I'm championing for. Number two, as I finish, it is very important that we look into what hampers membership. Now, chiefly, I've spoken about breathing life into the sexual offenses and anti-bullying policy 2019. That hampers mentorship because of the fear of our young advocates. Let us work towards it. Vote for Vincent Omondi Otieno for us to protect our practice space. Thank you.
PMO, oye. I can see most of you are hungry. My name is Samuel Siocha Ogechi. I practice in town at Bruce House building. I can see my colleagues are around. I have a question. What is the most important thing to an advocate? Exactly. I resonate with PMO a lot when he talks about our practice space being invaded. I believe I will have the courage and support to be able to protect those who want to take advocates' money. Yes, you can digitalize anything you want, but let it not be about why advocates should punguza their fees. Come 19th, please remember me, Samuel Siocha Ogechi, position General Member. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, colleagues. Kama unanisikia tafadhali nipungie mkono. Wale huko nyuma mnanisikia? Nashukuru sana. Yes, my name is Bosire Bonyi. Bosire Bonyi. Please remember that name. Huh? I'm vying for General Member Representative to the Council. Since 2023, I've served in the PI committee of the LSK, and I've done quite a lot. Key among them is representing the Gen Zs when you were abducted. I have represented very many young Gen Zs. The files are active in my office, and I'm very bold to ensure that justice is served. Secondly, and most importantly, in 2024 there was a directive. Was it in 2024? It was 2025. The directive that those of us who are parents, we should pay school fees through e-citizen platform. It was in 2024, yeah. The Law Society of Kenya approached me and requested me to assist them. We went to court to challenge that directive. And number two, we challenged the constitutionality of 50 shillings, which all of you continue paying on e-citizen platform. Si mnalipanga 50 shillings? With your support, we were successful in the High Court, wakakimbia Court of Appeal, tukawachapa huko. We have contempt proceedings against them. The judgment is coming in 2 weeks. The ruling for contempt is coming in 2 weeks. And yours truly is representing you. We'll ensure that these people. The third, and where my heart lies, I have assisted very many people who ordinarily are considered as indigent. I served in the Rule of Law Committee of the East African Law Society of Kenya, and I was privileged to be among those who went to deliberate on developing the pro bono scheme for East African lawyers. That scheme was adopted by the East African Law Society in Addis Ababa last year, and it is in the process of being adopted locally. We also liaised with the NCA, the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee to ensure that all those amendments are brought to the benefit. Now, let me tell you why this is important. I got, in 2023, when I got into LSK, nilitembea all the judiciaries around Nairobi, and I sought to represent all the big five cases. Unajua murder that require legal representation. Sinivyo, the judiciary pro bono scheme gives you 30,000. I
have 3 files in my office since 2023 hadi saizi sijapewa hata 1 bob, but I've handled those cases to date, and the fate is known that I'm going to get 30,000 shillings per file. We have priests who have come in and masqueraded as mediators. We are appearing before them. In 3 weeks, they get their 20,000 shillings per file. Those people must pack and leave. We have so many young lawyers who are able and competent to handle mediation works. Mediation is a second year course training for a legal professional. It cannot be that we are now appearing before policemen, counselors, priests, in the name of court and next mediation. Let us be very practical. These people, let them preach the word of God as we preach the law. Silvio. Finally,
30 seconds.
Finally, I thank you. Finally, I'm here on the invitation of PMO. When we met in Kisumu, I did request for Syria, I have an event here, and my colleagues come and talk to my constituents. Naomba kura yenu. This is the reason. I've interacted with PMO for a short while, but his agenda aligns with the problem that we are facing right now. Solutions required in the LSK need someone who is very brave. Watu wengine ni woga wako nayo. I'm here to represent the brave young voice into the council, so that when you are looking at me, be sure that I will transmit whatever the problems that you have to the council and aptly represent you. Naomba kura yenu, Mungu awabariki na Mungu awalinde. Asante sana.
Brave new voices indeed.
Good evening, my learned colleagues. My name is Yashin Butend. I kindly and humbly seek for your vote. I've realized that the incoming who has invited us here has convergently called for this meeting to discuss issues of young lawyers. And I can tell you, as the next general member, or the incoming general member, number one, there shall be subsidized conference fees. Young lawyers cannot continue paying that 8,000 conference fee, but I can subsidize where they can afford. Number two, I have realized that yes, we need to incorporate young lawyers in each and every aspect. I can assure you, as the next incoming general member, all the PIL matters, 60% shall be allocated to young advocates. We cannot have a situation whereby you only hear people bragging about they have handled PIL matters, 50 matters, 60 matters, but the young lawyers who have been admitted have none. I shall ensure that you all have 60% is allocated to young matters. We have heard about the Wakili Towers that is coming up. I can assure you, if it will be completed within my tenure of 2 years, 4th floor and 5th floor, I still continue that it shall be allocated to young lawyers, and they shall not be paying for office, because we have the newly admitted young lawyers who struggle to even pay the fee, to pay the office rent. The same if it's allocated and modified. Young lawyers can share that office as they venture out. Kindly and I humbly seek for your vote. I know my time is up, and those who work don't talk much, because I'm a performer and I don't talk much.
That was so brief. Thank you so much. Titus Mokanzi.
Good evening, colleagues. I come in as the last candidate. Okay, before tuende kwa bigger positions. I can see Tess and PMO are here. So nitakuwa mchache wa maneno, na kama kawaida mwingi wa nini? Kazi. Mwingi wa nini? Kazi. My name is Titus Mukanzi. I am here because I got a direct invite from Senior Peter Wanyama. And Peter, I have a lot of respect for you as a person, as an advocate. I look up to you, and I wish you the best in this race. As all candidates will witness, campaigning is not easy. Please extend some grace to Senior Wanyama. Okay? I'm just saying, extend some grace, including for the ladies. You can hug him when you meet him. Okay? It goes a long way. Niko kwa hiyo campaign trail, and I know. I also need a hug. I have served the Coast Branch before as treasurer, and I understand well issues that have been raised by Mr. Oyo, Ms. Efi Sheila, and Mudoli Gashara, being council members of Nairobi branch. And it is true that branches need to be strengthened. At the Coast Branch, council members serve without an allowance, okay? And so if you're in Mombasa and there's an activity in Voi, ujipange vile utafika. You can already tell how many council members will make it to Voi, okay? Over 200 plus kilometers. If you're moving to Malindi, say for a CUC or a Babbage, ujipange na fuel yako and your lunch and how you come back. And that speaks to how branches are constrained by how they need to work. And so I'm in agreement that we need to strengthen structures at the branches to allow those that are assigned to elected positions discharge their mandates effectively. Second, I wish to champion a mentorship model when I joined council, one that is very impactful. We have had various mentorship sessions before, but one that I seek to champion is one where LSK collects data on persons who want to be mentored, and equally collects data from colleagues who are willing to be mentors. And we pair up these colleagues. And so that if someone has excelled in an area of the law, say conveyancing, and someone else wants to excel in that area, we pair up these two colleagues so that they walk that journey together. Some of us might not have negotiated a fee deposit of 20 million before. But if I tag along Mr. Wanyama in one of those meetings, I will develop that courage to find a brief and equally demand 20 million or ask the client to leave my office. Okay? But we will continue to cry about undercutting if mentorship is not taken serious, because I do not have that courage right now to ask someone, a client, to deposit 20 million or ask them to leave my chambers. Equally, we can appear alongside, say myself and Mr. Wanyama. I can volunteer to be an assisting counsel as a form of mentorship. That this can only happen if LSK has made it possible for me to reach where Peter Wanyama is. Because on my own, I cannot just walk to his office and say, I'm here for mentorship. We all understand there is a gap between seniors and juniors. And lastly, of course, there are many more other points. I seek to, when I join council, advance the LSK system so that we develop a feature that allows an advocate to use e-stamps, and we do away with physical stamps. I believe physical stamps is an avenue where masqueraders are exploiting to practice law illegally. Take this for instance. Someone who is operating a cyber cafe somewhere will easily forge your stamp, say someone in Kilifi and you're in Nairobi, and draft an affidavit through AI and stamp that affidavit. But with e-stamps, no one can ever forge your stamp, because you only need to have the document in your laptop and drop the required stamp. If it's an advocate stamp, a certifying stamp, a notary's stamp, and all that. And so if we do away with the physical stamp, in my belief, we are going to, by a large percent, do away with masqueraders. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana kunisikiliza. On the 19th of February, remember, Titus Mukanzi, Coast Representative 2026 to 2028. Na mkipigia PMO kura, mnakumbuka PMO anahitaji kufanya kazi na nani?
Thank you very much. Now, I think is there any other candidate? Apart from the one who's coming? Okay. Finally, we'd like to invite VP to come and address the crowd.
Makofi. Allow me to adopt the protocols that were laid before. Good evening. Sasa Okari actually aniita VP. Kuna haja ya kuuza manifesto. Si amesema tuinue biblos. Ama Okari. Thank you. My name is Teresia Wavinya Nicholas. You call me Mama Rat. You call me Mama Welfare. I know they are not happy when you call me Mama Rat and Mama Welfare. They forget this does not stem from anything but the good work I have been able to demonstrate in my tenureship of leadership for the Law Society of Kenya. I started as a branch council member at a very young age of 5 years in practice because young voices needed to be represented, young voices needed to be heard. Now I stand before you as a mid-bar. Mukanzi and the other candidates, they have said, we need young lawyers. And there's a big parity between seniors and young lawyers. I present to you a vice president candidate who is that bridge. The bridge gap between seniors, young lawyers, because I have the privilege of being in the mid-bar. So I have the small wisdom. You know, mid-bar tunasema tuko na wisdom nyingi. I have the small wisdom to understand matters practice, and I have also the privilege of being able to understand the emerging issues that young lawyers are also going through. I stand before you as a servant leader. I stand before you as a candidate who is willing, ready to support your president so that we'll be able to ensure the society will be able to propel well. Before I sit down, allow me to elucidate two things. When I was campaigning to become the general member, I promised members that I want to ensure what we started at the Nairobi branch, that is the Rapid Action Team, Team RAT, an action of arresting masquerader will be felt across all branches. Tumefanya ama tujafanya? When I was campaigning to become a general member, I also came and promised that I want to go and ensure I have amended the advocates' remuneration order so that we ensure after we eradicate all the quacks and masqueraders and all the work come to advocates, now we are at a fair play field in terms of our economical scale. I did that as a legislative drafter. The new 2026 ARO draft is in transmission before the Honorable Chief Justice for gazettement. Mukiona current council tukiwaita, you help us amplify because kuna tukwazo, we have increased it with a 46% increment cap. For the past 12 years, we've never increased. So when you call upon new members to come and help us amplify so that we ensure seamless gazettement, remember you're doing it for your own society. And at this juncture, with humility, I'm asking once again, support me to become your vice president. Mumenjoy kikao? Enjoy. You guys are very lucky because since COVID started, rarely do advocates meet the way we are meeting. It's only upon campaigns that we meet. Am I lying? Am I lying? And how many of us are familiar with how the Rotary Club works? How many of us? One? You're Rotarians? You are? Rotarians. That's good. Now, they will let you understand that in the Rotary Club, they meet either quarterly, right? Or monthly. It is a must. I want to bring that concept to ensure we dignify just a minute before we start losing each other. This is a very important point. You call me Mama Welfare because I do a lot of michangos. But I want to structure that welfare. As I've been engaging with many members, we all complain that welfare only works for us after we have died. Is that not the correct position? Now, I want to ensure, while we are alive, while we are earning our fees, our bread and butter, also, LSK needs to have a dignified structure for welfare. I have been able to benchmark from Nakuru chapter. They have a working formula which has been there for the past 6+ years, where such an outfit exists. And in this outfit, they have all cadres of advocates, seniors, mid-bar, and juniors. And they all meet monthly. they rotate from one advocate to the other. It is not compulsory for them to meet monthly, but at least in every quarter, they ensure they meet. That is what I want to bring. Now imagine us having, thank you. Now imagine us having, meeting each other at least every quarter, not waiting for campaign period, but we meet. Not waiting to go for a physical CPD or a specialized CPD, but we meet. We also need to be realistic and honest that our AGMs are no longer tenable space for us to have honest conversation. It has become a heckling contest. I'm saying this with authority because I have been in this profession for the past 8 years. And I'm giving us an opportunity to have an outfit that will be able to ventilate our issues in a safe space. We'll be able to have conversations, seniors, mid-bar, young lawyers, among ourselves. Because if indeed the seniors want to come back to the society, we have to embrace them. If indeed the young lawyers want mentorship through the seniors, we have to embrace the seniors. And above all, seniors also must listen to our innovative ideas so that those two ideas of wisdom and the innovation from the young lawyers can be able to propel the sobriety of their profession. Kwa hayo machache, on 19th February 2026, the day of the Lord, I am requesting all of you, as you go vote for Peter Maunge Wanyama, remember yours truly, Teresia Wavinya Nicholas. I am very much accessible. I am very much available. I am your peer. It is easy kujo nipige mimi ngoto. The others are your seniors. And above all, I love my profession. I have given my all for the profession and I intend to continue doing that. So please remember Teresia Vinya Nicholas, Mama Rat, Mama Welfare, na naomba kazi iendelee come 19th February 2026. Thank you very much.
Give it up for all the candidates. Now give it up. You know what the next cycle we need of Tavai? Give it up for all the candidates. Now, because we have been seated for a very long time, I'd like for us to stand and the DJ will do something as we you know, jig up kidogo, okay? DJ, twende kazi. Tunawekea rege. Sawa? Okay. I would like now to invite our candidates to give us one last word and then we go eat. Ama namna gani? Sawa sawa?
Thank you very much, colleagues. Allow me to sincerely appreciate you for coming. It's been a great engagement. I look forward to further engagement with you. Remember, I am the most reachable person. You have my telephone number. If you need to discuss with me anything, including private issues, private queries, I am here for you, right? So thank you very much. For those ones who I have wronged, remember I don't have an enemy in my life. There is no person that I have wronged. So I would like to apologize for anyone who has felt offended with the remarks that I've made.
Kindly, the people at the back, kindly let's maintain order, and it's enough for everyone. Kindly let's have our seats, people at the back, and at the front alive.
Yeah, so I was saying, without tiring you, in 2 minutes, or just 1 minute, that let's keep on these interactions. Let's maintain this bond between us, the brotherhood and the sisterhood. We need to be each brothers and each sisters. I'm reachable. You have my telephone number. If you have anything that you need me to address, all you need to do is inbox me, and I'll be there for you to assist, even on matters which you feel uncomfortable to discuss. I have been to that space, and I'll be free to share ideas with you. For those ones, apologies to you. We cannot have this organic bond when there are issues behind our back, when there are some cards which we are putting under the table. We also seek your support. We will be there so that we work together, and we request that you also volunteer. Of course, you.
Where is Shelby? Shelby, watu wanakungoja wape direction ya food. When the society needed you the most, you disappear. Then I'd like to, oh yeah, she's there. Give a round of applause for Shelby. I'm taking kupigia Shelby makofi. Come to the front.
Hi everyone. How's everyone feeling today, tonight? I must say, this was such a good turnout. I want to thank every one of you for carving out time on a Tuesday, to leave at this time, to come and listen to us, to listen to the candidates. I guess that's it from me, so who's hungry? I've seen 5 hands, so I guess only 5 will serve, and it starts here. Anyway, please go have some food, and thank you for coming. Bye.
you.